Hello, beautiful. When something startles a deer, when there's a sudden sound or movement or a shift in the air, the deer bolts. It runs a few steps to safety and then it stops. And when it stops, its whole body begins to tremble. And just like that, the deer goes back to grazing, calm, present, soft eyed, as if the fear had never happened at all. The deer completes the cycle and the body returns to itself. Why am I going on about deer? Well, I've come to believe by watching them that we were designed with this same intelligence. It's somewhere in our wiring. We were built to feel something move through us and then come back to center. But somewhere along the way, most of us forgot how, or we were taught to forget. I want to share about something I know many of you have lived because I've lived it too. It's the experience of trembling during conflict, of starting to shake the moment you must speak up, feeling your hands go unsteady, your voice waver, and sometimes the tears rising in your eyes before you've even finished your first sentence. On top of that, with everything happening in your body, another voice inside your head starts to talk. And that voice says, "What is wrong with me? Why am I shaking? Why am I crying? Why can I not just speak like a normal person?" Shame then floods in. And this is what keeps us small long enough, long after the conversation has ended. The shame is what makes us replay that moment over and over, criticizing ourselves for what our body did, when the truth is our body was doing exactly what it learned to do a long time ago to keep us safe. There's something I read recently that explained it better than anything I have heard in a long time. Someone said, "You have probably gotten so used to never speaking up or making yourself small. So when you step out of that safe zone, your brain thinks you're in danger." I want to sit with that a little because it holds so much truth for so many of us. If you spent years learning that the safest thing you could do was say, stay quiet, stay small, be agreeable, then your body learned that smallness equals safety. It made an agreement with you a long time ago that as long as you stayed small, you'd be okay. Every time you swallowed your words, every time you held back your truth, every time you smooth things over, instead of saying what you actually felt, that agreement got stronger. Now, as an adult, you finally try and speak up, but your body sees the risk. Your body says, "Wait, we had a deal. We stay small, remember? We stay safe. What are you doing?" The trembling, the tears, the tightness in the throat, all of that is your body trying to pull you back to what it has always known to be safe. And that's not weakness, it's just an old protection waking up. And it doesn't yet know that you are safe enough now to do things differently. For me, this was rooted in my childhood. I don't know why I was afraid to speak up, and for a long time, that worked in the way of survival strategies by keeping me safe while quietly costing me my voice. As an adult, anytime there was disagreement, anytime I had to use my voice in a way that felt risky, my body would do something I could not control. My mind might have known I was grown, capable, and safe, but my body was still reacting from a much older place. The hardest part was not the trembling itself, it was the way I judged myself for it. I would walk away from a hard conversation and replay it in my head for hours. I would tell myself I had failed. I would wonder why other women could speak their truth without falling apart when I could barely finish a sentence before the trembling and the tears came. It took me a long time to realize that the shame was the thing I needed to address first. Because as long as I was ashamed of my own body's response, I was still treating myself the way I had once been treated. I was still making myself small. I was still abandoning the other part of me that needed me the most. There's something else that I want to share with you because it's part of how I have come to understand all of this. I grew up in Kenya, and like many cultures around the world, movement was woven into life. In traditional dance, the body is not still and polite in the way we are often taught to be in modern settings. There is rhythm and stamping and clapping and shaking and singing and breath and the whole community moving together. The body is not separate from the spirit or from the soul or from feeling. I think about that often because somewhere along the way, the more the world became polished, those traditional movements now took a back seat. We were taught to be still when we wanted to run, to hold our breath when we wanted to cry. And we were told this was being strong and mature. But what we do not express does not disappear. It waits, it gathers, and sometimes when we finally try and speak the truth out loud, it comes up through us in the only way it knows how, through trembling, through tears, through a shaky voice that we then judge ourselves for. Today, I'm not the same woman I used to be in those conversations. I can be calm now in moments that used to completely undo me. But honestly, it's not that the old wiring has vanished. The girl who learned to stay quiet is still in me. Every now and then, when something emotional happens, my mind will try and pull me back to the old way. I'll feel the familiar tightening in my throat. I will feel the flutter of panic that used to lead straight to tears. But here's what is different now. I have a phrase that I say to myself in those moments, and I say it with my whole body, not just my mind. I plant my feet on the ground. I take in a deep breath and I say to myself, no, that was then. This is now, and I'm ready. That was then. This is now, and I'm ready. There's something that shifts when a woman speaks those words to herself with conviction. It's not gentle, it's not coddling. It's a kind of fierce, grounded reclaiming. It's a woman looking her old pattern in the eye and saying, I see you. I know where you came from, and I'm not getting pulled back. The deer do not apologize for trembling. They do not call themselves weak for shaking. They simply let the energy move through them, and then they return to themselves. They complete the cycle, and they trust their own body to know how. Part of what we are doing as women is remembering how to do that too, how to let our bodies tremble without making it mean something is wrong with us, how to come back to ourselves again and again with patience, with breath, and with words that meet us where we are. This is the unfolding. And yes, this is what healing looks like, not as a destination, but as a daily practice of staying with ourselves when we used to leave. If you saw yourself somewhere in this video today, you know that you're not alone. Let me know in the comments, do you experience this? What helped? Share it in the comments because you never know who will see your comment and find it helpful. Thank you for being here with me today. Until next time, be gentle with your body, be patient with your voice, and remember that was then, this is now, and you're ready. From my heart to yours, bye for now.